Imagine a table adorned with hearty dishes, made entirely by hand, using recipes passed down for generations. The aroma of fresh-baked pies and roasted turkey fills the air. A family gathers not around a smartphone or a television, but around stories, hymns, and gratitude. This is an Amish holiday feast, but behind the simplicity lies a rich and fascinating story. Stick with me, and you'll discover their culinary secrets, heartfelt traditions, and perhaps the most soul-stirring lesson of all. Let's begin. Thanksgiving, for the Amish, is not a holiday of indulgence, but one of reflection. There's no pressure to impress or outdo. The focus is on connection with God, family, and the land. But here's the surprising twist. This simplicity carries an urgency we've forgotten in our fast-paced lives. What if this year you let go of the distractions and embrace the core of Thanksgiving? Keep watching. We're about to dive deeper into the traditions that make this possible. For the Amish, preparations start weeks in advance. But don't think Pinterest-worthy table settings or Instagrammable dishes. Instead, it's a communal effort. Neighbors helping neighbors, entire families working together. Take the food, for instance. Every dish is made from scratch. The ingredients, pulled straight from the earth. Potatoes freshly dug, pies baked from fruits preserved last summer, and turkey seasoned with herbs grown in backyard gardens. This isn't just cooking, it's a labor of love. And here's something that might stop you in your tracks. There's no waste. Everything has a purpose. It's a stark contrast to the way most of us approach the holiday. Isn't it time we rethink what abundance really means? When it's time to come together, the Amish don't rely on fancy decorations or curated playlists. Instead, their homes are filled with something much more profound, the sound of gratitude. The meal begins not with a clink of glasses, but with prayer. It's a moment of collective stillness, an acknowledgement of blessings. Then, families and friends share stories, laughter, and wisdom. The elders often recount past struggles, reminding everyone of the resilience and faith that carried them through. Here's where it gets truly moving. The focus isn't on what's on the table, but who's around it. And as you listen to their stories, you can't help but feel the urgency to bring this kind of connection back into your own life. How many Thanksgivings have we spent distracted by our phones or overwhelmed by schedules, missing the moments that truly matter? But the Amish don't stop there. What they do next will inspire you to rethink Thanksgiving entirely. Thanksgiving for the Amish isn't just about receiving. It's about giving. After the meal, it's not uncommon for them to visit neighbors in need, delivering food or lending a helping hand. This act of service reinforces their belief that gratitude isn't complete unless it's shared. Think about this for a moment. When was the last time your Thanksgiving included an act of selfless giving? Imagine the ripple effect if we all embraced this mindset, if our gratitude extended beyond our tables and into the lives of others. The Amish teach us a powerful lesson. Gratitude isn't about having more, it's about appreciating enough. In a world that constantly pushes us to want bigger, better, faster, Thanksgiving in the Amish way reminds us to slow down, to cherish simplicity, and to reconnect with what truly matters. But here's the challenge. Will you take this lesson to heart? Will you let it inspire your Thanksgiving this year? Or will it remain just an idea, buried under the noise of modern life? In a world dominated by dazzling lights, endless gift lists, and holiday chaos, there exists a way of celebrating Christmas so profoundly different, it might just redefine how you see this season forever. The Amish way of Christmas strips away the noise and replaces it with something extraordinary: peace, simplicity, and a sense of purpose that's all too easy to lose in modern life. Stay with me, because by the end of this journey, you'll discover a Christmas tradition that speaks not just to the season, but to the soul. Are you ready to uncover the hidden wisdom of an Amish Christmas? Imagine waking up to the sound of quiet. No blaring alarms, no buzzing notifications. Outside, the world is blanketed in snow, and the stillness is almost sacred. This is Christmas morning in an Amish community. There are no frantic last-minute trips to the store, no stress over matching holiday pajamas or perfectly wrapped gifts. For the Amish, Christmas isn't about spectacle. It's about reverence. The day begins with gratitude, not extravagance, and this sets the tone for everything that follows. But here's the thing. The simplicity of their traditions carries a depth of meaning that's impossible to ignore. What if this year, you chose a quieter, more intentional way to celebrate? Hold that thought, because we're just getting started. The Amish way of preparing for Christmas is a lesson in mindfulness. There's no frantic rush for the latest gadgets or endless online sales. Instead, the focus is on creating, not consuming. Families work together to craft handmade gifts, bake special treats, and prepare their homes in ways that reflect the true spirit of the season. Take their decorations, for instance. You won't find flashing lights or inflatable Santas. Instead, you'll see candles glowing softly in windows, handmade wreaths, and perhaps a simple star to represent the one that guided the wise men. Each element serves a purpose, reminding them, and us, of the season's deeper meaning. But here's the twist. The Amish also prepare their hearts. Through prayer, song, and acts of kindness, they align themselves with the true essence of Christmas. How often do we prepare for the holidays this way? And what would happen if we did? Stay tuned, because their way of giving will challenge everything you thought you knew about generosity. For the Amish, giving isn't about price tags or impressing others. Gifts are often handmade and deeply personal. A quilt stitched with care, a wooden toy crafted by hand. These aren't just objects, they're tokens of love and effort. But here's the most inspiring part. Amish Christmas giving extends far beyond their own families. Communities come together to share what they have with those in need, whether it's firewood for a struggling neighbor or baked goods for someone grieving a loss. It's a powerful reminder that the best gifts can't be bought, and that giving isn't about what you have, but how you share it. Can you imagine the ripple effect if we all embrace this kind of generosity? What happens next in an Amish Christmas might surprise you, and it has nothing to do with presents. Christmas Day is a time for togetherness. But in Amish homes, this doesn't mean scrolling through phones or binge-watching holiday movies. Instead, it's about shared meals, shared stories, and shared faith. The meal itself is simple but abundant, not in excess, but in warmth. Think roasted meats, home-baked bread, and desserts that bring families closer around the table. Before they eat, there's prayer, a heartfelt moment to thank God for His blessings. And after the meal, families often gather for hymns and Bible readings, recounting the story of Christ's birth. It's a moment of collective awe, a pause to reflect on the miracle of the season. But here's the question. When was the last time you felt awe during Christmas? And what might change if you made room for it this year? At its core, an Amish Christmas teaches us one profound truth. Simplicity amplifies meaning. When you strip away the distractions, the noise, and the excess, what remains is the heart of Christmas: love, faith, and togetherness. But there's urgency here. Each year, the world's noise grows louder, pulling us further from what truly matters. Will you let another holiday season slip by in a blur of busyness? Or will you choose to embrace the quiet power of an Amish-inspired Christmas? Imagine growing up in a world where giving isn't an obligation, but a way of being. In the Amish way of life, generosity begins with gratitude. From a young age, children are taught that everything they have is a gift, from the land, from their community, and from God. But here's the surprising part. This gratitude is rooted in a deep understanding of scarcity. The Amish live without luxuries, yet they're among the richest in spirit. Why? Because they've learned that true wealth isn't measured by what you own, but by how much you can share. This foundational belief drives their every action. So what can we learn from this mindset? And how might our lives change if we embraced gratitude as the root of giving? Hold on to that thought, because we're about to see how this philosophy plays out in their everyday lives. For the Amish, community isn't just a concept. It's a lifeline. When someone's barn burns down or a family faces hardship, the community rallies together to rebuild, provide, and uplift. These barn raisings, as they're called, are more than acts of charity. They're a testament to the power of collective giving. But here's the kicker. No one keeps score. There's no expectation of repayment, no tally of who's helped the most. The act of giving is its own reward, strengthening bonds and creating a sense of belonging that few of us experience in today's fragmented world. Now, imagine what it would be like if we adopted this mindset in our own neighborhoods. What would happen if we gave not for recognition, but for connection? What the Amish do next will inspire you even more, because their giving isn't just about grand gestures. While barn raisings and large-scale efforts grab attention, the Amish excel at giving in small, everyday ways. A mother baking extra bread for a neighbor, a child offering to help carry firewood, a farmer sharing a bountiful harvest with someone in need. These quiet acts of kindness aren't random, they're intentional. For the Amish, giving is woven into the fabric of daily life. It's not something they schedule or budget for, it's who they are. But here's the challenge for us. In a culture obsessed with efficiency and productivity, how often do we slow down enough to notice opportunities to give? And what might happen if we did? Stay with me, because the way the Amish handle their relationship with material possessions will make you rethink your own. One of the most remarkable aspects of Amish giving is their willingness to sacrifice. Whether it's time, resources, or personal comfort, they give without hesitation. And this isn't limited to their own community. In times of disaster, the Amish are often among the first to donate funds, materials, and labor to help strangers in need. But here's the heart of the matter. Their giving isn't transactional. They don't expect a thank you or a reward. For them, giving is a spiritual practice, a way to serve God and reflect His love. Now ask yourself, when was the last time you gave something without expecting anything in return? And how might embracing selflessness change the way you experience generosity? We're approaching the most profound lesson of all. Stick with me, because it's a perspective that could redefine your understanding of wealth. The Amish teach us that true wealth isn't about accumulation, it's about contribution. They measure success not by what they own, but by how much they've helped others. This perspective stands in stark contrast to modern society's obsession with more money, more possessions, more status. But here's the urgent question. Are we chasing the wrong kind of wealth? And what might happen if we redefined success as the Amish do, by the depth of our relationships and the impact of our generosity? Imagine starting each day with a prayer of thanks, not for what you hope to gain, but for what you already have. For the Amish, gratitude begins here. Before the sun rises, they take a moment to reflect on the blessings of life. The food on their table, the roof over their heads, the health of their families. It's a stark contrast to modern life, where the pressure to achieve often drowns out the ability to appreciate. And yet, here's the truth. Gratitude isn't just a practice for the Amish. It's their foundation, their compass. What if we, too, started each day with thanks, not scrolling through stress-inducing headlines, but grounding ourselves in gratitude? Could this simple shift change the course of our lives? Hold on to that question, because the way the Amish express gratitude will surprise you. For the Amish, work isn't a burden. It's a blessing. Every task, no matter how mundane, is an opportunity to honor the gifts they've been given. Whether it's plowing fields, sewing clothes, or baking bread, their work is a living expression of gratitude. This mindset transforms their daily routines into acts of worship. It's not about achieving perfection. It's about showing reverence for the resources they've been entrusted with. But here's the challenge for us. In a world obsessed with shortcuts and convenience, how often do we see our own work as a gift? And how might our perspective change if we did? Stay with me, because the Amish take gratitude even further, into their relationships. In Amish communities, gratitude is deeply tied to connection. They express thankfulness not just for things, but for people. A meal isn't just a chance to eat, it's a moment to gather, to share stories, to appreciate one another's presence. Their relationships are grounded in mutual respect and shared purpose. When conflict arises, it's addressed with humility and forgiveness, because gratitude leaves little room for grudges. Now, think about your own relationships. How often do we take the people in our lives for granted? And what could happen if we made gratitude the cornerstone of our connections? The Amish practice gratitude not just in good times, but also in challenges. What they do in the face of hardship will inspire you. Life isn't always easy, even for the Amish. Crops fail, illness strikes, tragedy happens. Yet in these moments, their gratitude doesn't waver. Instead, it deepens. They believe that every trial is an opportunity to grow closer to God, to lean on their faith, and to appreciate the strength of their community. This perspective doesn't erase their pain, but it gives them the resilience to endure it. Here's the question: how often do we let hardship cloud our sense of gratitude? And what might change if, like the Amish, we saw challenges as blessings in disguise? We're nearing the heart of the Amish gratitude practice. Stick around, because the way they end each day is a lesson we all need. As the day ends, the Amish gather for prayer and reflection. They thank God for the day's blessings, big and small. It's a simple ritual, but it's profoundly grounding. This practice doesn't just close the day, it prepares their hearts for the next. It's a reminder that no matter what tomorrow holds, there is always something to be thankful for. Now, imagine ending your day this way. Instead of scrolling through social media or worrying about tomorrow, you take a moment to reflect on what went right. How might this small habit transform your nights and your life? Thank you for joining me on this journey into the heart of Amish holiday traditions. If this inspired you or gave you a new perspective, let me know in the comments. And if you're curious about other aspects of Amish life, hit subscribe and join me for more stories of simplicity, resilience, and wisdom. Until next time, remember, the most meaningful meals aren't about the food, but the love they're served with. And don't forget, it's not just what's on the table, but who's around it that truly makes the holidays unforgettable. Let's cherish every moment, just as the Amish do. Until next time.